Hey, what is up, mortals? It is Trina here with a new video for you. Welcome to part 1 of What If Deku Was Given the 6 Paths Power. I just wanted to greet you guys by just saying, sit back and relax, you're in for a treat. So, we begin. It had been a long day for the young spiky green-haired boy. As he walked back home down the empty path, his thoughts only reverberated more and more. Not only had he been bullied by his longtime friend Bakugo to the point of having his precious number 13 hero analysis for the future notebook burned, but he had also ended up trapped by a slime villain. But all those weren't as bad compared to hearing his idol, All Might, crushing all the hopes he ever had.
Pro heroes are always risking their lives, so I cannot simply say that without a quirk you can become one. If you truly want to help others, you can become a police officer. They might complain about having the villains delivered to them, but it's a good occupation nonetheless. It's not bad to dream, but you also have to consider what's realistic, young man.
That's what All Might had told him, and he wanted to forget it outright. Trying to distract his mind, Izuku flipped through the pages of his notebook, seeing many pages dedicated to heroes such as Mount Lady and Kamui Woods. That all stopped when it landed on the pages that had All Might's autograph. Just another reminder of reality. He immediately closed it and got teary-eyed. Even the number 1 hero said it, he thought to himself, trying to hold all the emotions within. You always knew it, so why even cry? You can't change reality, so that's why you were so desperate, ignoring what was so obvious, even if I... But those thoughts were quickly lost as an explosion happened nearby. The very street where he stood shook as if an earthquake had occurred. Even though still down, Midoriya slowly got closer, going through the big crowd of onlookers in his way. In an instant, his hands went straight to cover his mouth. In front of him was the slime villain from earlier, rampaging all over the fiery destroyed street. Izuku quickly realized that indeed this was his fault. Grabbing onto All Might's leg must have made the bottle drop, which in turn freed the villain. But if the feeling of blame wasn't enough, he heard some of the onlookers talk about a hostage, and Midoriya could only gasp at the thought of someone else hanging onto dear life for more than a few seconds, due to intense suffocation. The blame within the boy reached a breaking point when the people around him began to wonder where All Might was and why he wasn't here to deal with the situation. It's all my fault. It's my fault. He can't do anything. All we can do is wait until a hero with a suitable quirk arrives. I'm sorry. Soon a hero will arrive too. But with those thoughts once more shattered as he saw the hostage, it was Kacchan. Without a thought, he ran with all his might to save him, the previously held notebook striking the floor as if it was left behind. But as he was halfway there, everything went dark. Slowly, he opened his eyes again and found himself surrounded by an endless white void. No matter where he looked, it was all an endless white painting. This video was sponsored by Adobe. Adobe is redefining the digital experience through game-changing innovations that shape the next generation of storytelling. Adobe makes it easy to create, edit, and share digital documents securely, allowing you to collaborate and communicate across devices. Adobe Photoshop is your go-to application for faster graphics editing and digital art as a whole. At We the Celestials, all our thumbnails across every channel are created with Adobe Photoshop. Adobe Premiere Pro is a timeline-based and non-linear video editing software application that is versatile and easy for beginning and master editors. Finally, Adobe After Effects is the industry standard tool for digital visual effects, motion graphics, and compositing applications used in post-production. Many of our voice actors, audio editors, and video editors use Premiere Pro and After Effects to produce these high-quality videos. Click the link in the description to start creating now, and thank you to Adobe for sponsoring this video.
What drives you to throw away your life so carelessly?
Someone asked from behind him. Izuku quickly spun around to meet that voice and saw a humongous older man with a godly white robe floating in front of him. The man didn't seem human. An alien, perhaps? Wondered Izuku as he stared directly at the man with 3 eyes and horns. Who are you? With a gulp, the young boy had asked.
I happen to be a visitor from another realm. My name is Hagoromo.
The old man answered politely, still staring down at Izuku without a hint of glaring away. Izuku approached him slowly. It is nice to meet you, but where exactly are we? Where's Kacchan?
That matters not. Soon you will go back to where you left off. But now we shall get on to what you were summoned here for. Young Izuku Midoriya, is it true that you lack the power to save your friend and all who require saving? Would it help you become what you always sought after?
The green-haired boy stood still in thought. Just what did this being mean with what he just said? Was he about to give him something to help him be a hero? Was that even a possibility? Perhaps he should take it. I think so. I lack a quirk, so I'm not suitable to be a hero. Saving people the way I am would likely end up with me suffering a reckless death, Midoriya admitted. He was about to suffer one of those if this old man hadn't intervened. Hagoromo then hovered over to the boy and placed his hand on top of his head.
Then this shall make it easier for that dream of yours to become a reality.
What will? Izuku curiously asked while trying to decipher why he had been head-patted by this stranger. Hagoromo smiled.
Some of my power will be granted to you. My creed once specialized in uniting and helping others, so someone like you shall inherit a part of it. Back in my realm, I've been known by many names, but the one remembered the most is Sage of the Six Paths. What you are about to experience may be immense when compared to anything in your world, but if honed correctly, you will be able to save anyone. Now, Izuku Midoriya, the power of the Six Paths is yours.
Such a long explanation concluded with the blinding light surrounding the young boy beneath. Midoriya opened his eyes and he stopped in his tracks. In front of him stood the sludge villain that had Kacchan hostage. He took a deep breath and felt his new power surging from within.
Deku?
Was all that could come out of the barely conscious Bakugo as he saw the loser standing by. It's okay, Kacchan. I'm here. And with those words out, green energy enveloped Izuku whole. A flashy energy robe now adorned the young man, having many magatamas distributed throughout it and 9 void black orbs behind him. His hair spiked up just a bit, gaining a more colorful and tension-attracting look. Beneath it all, he still had his school uniform. Not like it mattered as it was barely noticeable with the green energy form on top of it. Izuku swiftly moved his right arm forward and gave out a command. Go! All 9 Truth Seeker orbs launched themselves at the villain, ripping him apart and setting Bakugo free. It had been almost instantaneous, and they returned to the back of their owner as fast as they had gone. Everyone around could only stare in awe as the boy powered down, the robe and orbs disappearing into thin air, and went to check on his friend. The pro heroes took this moment to start evacuating all the civilians from the area. As he tried to get up, Bakugo could only wonder.
What the hell was that?
His whole body hurt, and his balance was quite off thanks to all that time with limited oxygen. That slimy bastard had used a cheap sneak attack, and that was the only reason that it had the chance to pounce. Those were Bakugo's excuses to not feel inferior to anyone. But even in this state, he had seen what the damn nerd had done. He had a quirk, and he had used it to save him no less. Bakugo couldn't have been more pissed off if he could. This was a total betrayal in his point of view. That Deku had lied for years about being quirkless. The more he thought about it, the more he felt like blowing Deku up. We can talk about it later, Midoriya answered as he moved his hand to help him get up, but it was swatted away without a second chance by the blonde beneath.
I don't need your help. What I need is an explanation of what you just displayed. Not later, now.
He got up to his face, and Izuku decided to walk away. There wasn't a reason to answer Kacchan's aggressive questioning. It wasn't like he was in any condition to hurt him anyway. All bark, no action. We'll speak about it later once you have a level head. I'm just glad that you're okay. Those were the last words he spoke to Kacchan that day as he continued on home. Even on the way there, Izuku felt completely different. His body was lighter, and he was full of energy. It was great, to be honest, no longer a weakling. And now he had the chance to turn his life around. The words of that doctor would no longer hold any merit. He had to tell his mom all about it. This was going to be the first time since he was little that she would look at him without that hint of disappointment. Having a quirkless son in the society made it more justifiable for her to feel that way. But no more. Now Midoriya possessed a power that, if mastered, could rival All Might's, if not downright surpass it. The young boy was just a few minutes from getting home, but in a blinding flash, he was intercepted by All Might.
Young man!
He lit out in his muscular form before spouting out an alarming amount of blood from his mouth and reverting to his skinny Might form. You shouldn't push yourself like that, All Might, said Midoriya as he took the chance to approach his idol.
It's okay. I was just trying to reach you, but you never stopped.
Poor skinny Might couldn't even complete a sentence without running out of air. You told me that half of your respiratory system was gone, right? Alongside your whole stomach? Let me do something about that, said Izuku as he placed his hand on All Might's chest, on his left side to be precise.
What are you?
All Might exclaimed before being enveloped by a wave of green energy. In an instant, All Might was forever changed. The pain he always sported was gone. His shortness of breath had also been extinguished. He straightened up and felt like transforming to his hero form while also feeling like shouting out his usual "I'm here" catchphrase with the big smile.
That should do it. How do you feel now, All Might?
The boy asked as he retracted his hand from his chest.
This is unbelievable. I feel better than I have for the last few years. I truly am here. My boy, what kind of sorcery have you bestowed upon me?
All Might buffed up as he posed up in appreciation towards the young man. Midoriya stepped back, and after looking down at the palm of his hand, he decided to explain what had just happened.
I did the best I could. Reforming organs may be beyond my capabilities, but even then, I'm still able to realign and change the structure of those that you still have. I made them more efficient and changed the very fragile working structure that they had been forced onto after your injury. Indeed, you will never go back to who you were before that injury, but half a day of being a hero every day should be more than possible now.
No words came out. The number one hero was left flabbergasted. After his fight with All for One, he was told that it was a miracle that he could even move, even more so if he decided to keep doing hero work. The breakup with his sidekick Sir Night-Eye because of a faded death vision perhaps could be changed as well. If this young man could bring him to a similar level to what was once his peak, then nothing could ever become impossible. All Might considered his following words carefully. The young man in front of him had displayed all the qualities to be a successor before the power surge. Perhaps he could someday inherit One for All, but for now, that could wait.
May I know your name?
All Might asked.
It's Midoriya. Izuku Midoriya.
The young boy answered proudly.
Then, young Midoriya, I would like to apologize for what I said earlier today. I was wrong. Even without your power, you rushed to save your friend when not even the pro heroes could. That is the true spirit of a hero. So yes, you too can become a hero.
Izuku felt like crying. His idol had finally told him what he always wanted to hear. Ever since he was little, he had wanted to be just like him, watching that same video over and over for hours and hours. And now, he too could be an aspiring hero like All Might. All it had taken was the spirit of a true hero and the energy from an otherworldly sage to make it happen. He could only clean his eyes as he tried to recompose himself to speak.
Thanks, All Might. I always wanted to hear that. Ever since I could
But he was suddenly interrupted by All Might before he could continue what would have eventually deformed into more mumbling.
I'm not done yet, young Midoriya, because you must also know that you too can be my successor.
Exclaimed All Might as he clenched his fist towards Izuku.
What?
Was all the young green-haired boy could cry out as this last revelation blew his mind. And so, the journey for the young man who inherited a part of the Six Paths power begins. Thank you all for indulging yourselves in all this information thus far. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, I'd like to thank our patrons. BD Flames, Ethan Davis, Terry Chills, Shifter Melees, Adam Zagil, Zill, XAVBeat03, and Joshua Phelps. Secondly, I also like to thank all of our YouTube members, Toya Costa, Rob the King, SithLord906, CF2364, and Knuckles, Remiu Tempest, Angel Juarez, Donald C. Stewart, Bryant Greer, and Demonized Fox. Thirdly, if you're in the mood for some great storytelling, We the Celestials has got you covered. Our We the Celestials My Hero Academia and Naruto What If channels retell the story of their namesake anime with a twist. Check it out if you're interested. Fourthly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in today's excellent content production. Their details can be found in the description below. Lastly, if you're interested in what we do here at We the Celestials, I'd like to extend an invitation to join the team. The only caveat is that we only accept members from 16 years old to join our crew. You can sign up for whichever category fulfills your interest by joining the recruitment Discord using the link in the description below. We're always looking for members to join us. Well, that's it from us for today's video. So thank you all for watching and have a great day.